Welcome to another episode of Step by Step Talks. Today I'm with somebody who's got a very interesting career. Alim Kassam has been in the financial industry for about 14 years. Alim started with Sun Life, was extremely successful, and then decided to start his own agency. When I was speaking with Alim a few weeks ago, I asked him, what is your value proposition? Why? Why would an advisor join you? Now, having been in the career for almost 3 decades and more, I know that an advisor, when choosing a branch or a brokerage, is looking for certain things. So we're going to discuss that today. And I would encourage my audience to listen very carefully because the points that are going to come in today are really geared towards you being successful in a financial advisor's role in the investment or insurance industry. Welcome, Alim.
Nice to be here.
So, Alim, tell me, you started your own branch in Langley, British Columbia, a few years ago. What prompted you to do that?
Well, you know what? Previous to starting AP Blueprint Investment Services, I was working for a company called Sun Life Financial, as you know, for a number of years. And, I wore many different hats while there, starting as a sales manager and then ultimately a senior manager. And I did a lot of different things there, helping new advisors come into the business. So recruiting was I shouldn't say a part of, actually a major part of my role.
Of course.
But that transition to, going on joint field work with, older advisors, mid advisors, helping them build our practice, help them with marketing, help them with technology, everything that you needed as far as tools are concerned to be successful in the industry. And after a number of years, I thought to myself, as a manager, I'm doing a lot of work, working in a corporate environment, great company, but I didn't feel I was getting paid what I was putting into the business. And at some point I felt, I've been helping so many advisors be successful at Sun Life and building their practice. I thought, why not do it for myself and start a new journey, branching off into the brokerage world, which I think has been a wonderful, wonderful opportunity and a move for me and my business partner.
I really appreciate your honesty. I like the fact that you said, you were not making enough money, right? And that, you're working so hard, you do want to be rewarded. And obviously that's, with money, right? So thank you for saying that. And this is an eye opener for some advisors who are coming to the business. You do want to be paid because in the beginning, there's a lot of struggle. When evaluating a branch of potential clients, financial advisors are primarily looking for a strong customer base with individuals who will fit their target markets, exhibiting needs that align with their financial products and services they specialize in. Is your office able to do that for a new advisor joining you?
Absolutely. We have so many different clients in different areas. If I'm wanting to know your question a bit further, are you asking if our clients advisors have the capability of meeting different clients in the industry?
Yes. Well, the thing is that when an advisor is looking for a place, they're looking for support, for obviously support in learning products, learning the business, learning how to form processes, get the system going, basic business planning. But at the same time, the big worry is clients. Will you help them with clients? Will you help them, with the demographics fit their needs? What kind of clientele base do you offer? Or do you want the advisors to come in with their client base?
Yeah, absolutely. So, everything, all the above, right? I mean, for
Yeah.
a new advisor coming into the business, of course, we will help them get clients, right? As a matter of fact, we have clients sometimes that we can even offer them and give them a book as they progress in the industry and actually start to own their own skills, whether it be in group benefits, investments, whether it be in insurance, maybe living benefits, right? If it could be critical illness, whatnot. Branding is a big thing for us, right? We find that branding is a very big attribute to success, making sure that clients know that we are a brand. And the biggest thing I'm going to say for advisors, I think, that are coming into the business, especially in today's world, is the lone wolf. Those days are gone. If you want to scale, you need to be part of some sort of a team. And and that's where capacity comes in. And so, if you have a team behind you that will support you and help you build your practice, that's where you're going to be the most successful. And that's where the secret sauce is for advisors in today's world. I I used to talk to a lot of advisors that were just the lone wolves that couldn't scale. They couldn't scale. They couldn't, deliver the right level of service that they wanted to after they, reached a certain mark in their practice. And I think today advisors are wanting more. They want to build their practice and they want to have a team behind them to help build their practice. And along with that will come, a good marketable product, which is yourself, in helping clients achieve lifetime financial security. And that's what clients are looking for.
Okay, so let's say there's a new advisor that joins you, and green right after, not any experience at all. What is your process of recruiting the agent and getting them trained and becoming successful? Obviously, you've got some advisors who've gone from zero to hero in your office, and you've trained a lot of advisors, I'm sure, in the last 14 years. So, what is your process that'll take them from zero to hero?
Well, I think it's different, right? From bringing in, and great. It's a great point there because a new advisor in the business is a sponge, right? They will listen to everything that you say and do, and they will follow it the proper way. Now, if we bring over an advisor that's been around for 30 plus years, obviously their way of doing things is a little bit different. So, but for me, it's for us at Blueprint is we have a comprehensive onboarding and training program. So when people come on board, they're getting training from us. They're going to be dealing with compliance guidelines, marketing strategies. There's going to be mentorship programs of sorts, depending on where they fit in. They'll get training by myself, which I've been doing for many, many years. I'm more of a tools guy, so I like to use different tools with different clients. Visuals are always good. That's the best way that I've always learned. Visuals, tools, right? That is what really builds confidence with a lot of these advisors. And of course, the biggest thing of all is knowledge. So constant training of knowledge, products, sweet points, I should say sweet spots, whatever you want to call it, but just really giving them the tools that they need. And that's going to be ongoing support, in their practice.
When I was running my own organization, I was very adamant that everybody has at least 20 or 30 joint fieldworks with their managers. Do you offer joint fieldwork?
Absolutely.
You do,
Absolutely.
because they're not just
I,
thrown out in the as a green advisor being thrown out into the the big bad wolves. It's not, they don't last. They need the support of the manager.
Yeah, absolutely. And joint field work today is much easier than it was, say, 20 years ago or 10 years ago. Most people are acceptable to being on a Teams call or any sort of video call. So to do a joint call is very easy. As a matter of fact, it's the most easiest thing to do for me to jump on a Teams call with another a client and another advisor, because I have so many tools on my computer that I could just literally just pop up and bring up to everyone's attention and really show the client the value of what they're doing and why they should be, writing business and working with AMP Blueprint Group.
So, as I said before, Alim, if I'm a green advisor coming into your office, what is the first step you're going to take? You're going to put us, the product training. Obviously, that's given without say. But you will start joint fieldwork immediately. Do you give them a book business when they start, or are they meant to come with clients themselves? Every advisor coming in needs their own demographics, needs their own investment appetite. They have a different investment appetite. What is it that you will give this green advisor?
So the first thing that we look at is does this prospect, let's call them a prospect, have a market, right? Most people do have
Yeah.
markets, but is there a market? A lot of places that you go to will have some sort of a tool that will try to, identify some sort of market. So at Sun Life, we had something called the M100, where you had to put 100 names down, right? And then you have to put a name, number, all that, and then you have to go and those are just names, right? And then you have to go and actually have a conversation with them ultimately to hit initial target called quick start, right? Which means
Yeah.
that you have to have a certain amount of sales and then there's continued success after that. So there's always a process. With us, obviously, we want you to have a market. And when we see that you have a market, we'll tailor that market to a certain area, and then we'll help train you in a specific area.
Okay.
So yeah, so
What is
it's
it?
a little bit different.
Sorry about that. What is your success rate of advisors staying with you? Because you've had your uh, MGA for a while now, haven't you?
Yeah, for a number, not very long, since 2020, but so
Okay,
far,
4 years. Yeah.
yeah, 4 years. But if you talk to any of our advisors right now, they are very successful. They're constantly busy talking to clients, writing business. Um, but yeah, I would say they are pretty successful, and and they came from the financial service industry already, so they do
Okay.
have an understanding of what they're doing, which definitely helps.
Yeah.
But for new advisors, we have coaching that we're going to be, that development on the coaching side that we're going to be providing for new advisors that come in
Okay.
on an ongoing basis. There'll be a metric that would need to be met throughout the year, and that's more based on activity, right? How many phone calls, how many fact finds, how many second appointments, that type of thing. But those are the as you know, that's the cheat code for success, right? You have to have a certain amount of activity in order to write a certain amount of sales and get out there.
I think, I always said that it's really important for when you're, having the first few interviews and building a relationship with the advisor or the potential advisor, to make sure that they understand that this is a sales career. Because a lot of people, sort of, a lot of branches will not emphasize that this is a sales career. And you are going to have to talk to people and you're going to have to build your own clientele. So, Aline, tell me one thing. Now that you tell me that you've got a process set in place for green advisors coming in, what about your staff? How knowledgeable are they? When a new person comes in, are they all trained to help the new person, or is the person left, to fend for themselves? It's very important for a new advisor coming in to make sure that the staff in your office is also aware of, how the whole process works.
Yeah, so our staff is being in the industry for as long as they have been now, are very um, they're very in tune with what clients are needing, right? So our admin staff is fantastic. I'm going to say this is where I boast the most about my company is my staff, right? Our admin staff is fantastic. I think in today's day and age, you need a good administrative staff that knows what is in front of them when they're talking to clients, when they're booking meetings with advisors. That friendly voice, they understand the business. We have one right now that's just finished her LOQP life license, one that's going to be just registering pretty soon. But in regards to booking meetings, it's funny because they still more or less join webinars and stuff like that, so they actually know a lot about the products
Oh yeah, yeah, of
that's
course. Yeah.
available. But in regards to their role and their duties, they're very in tune with what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And the administrative side of things, right? New advisors, when they come on board, they will have the flexibility of being able to use our admin staff rather than doing everything themselves
It's
to
very
get ahead.
important.
And that's a big thing because in today's
Yeah.
world, you don't want to be wasting time doing the administrative work. You want to be going out there and meeting clients and building relationships. And that's really where the success really is. So we offer that at Blueprint, right? That opportunity
And
to
for
let
how
our staff
long?
do everything.
And how, for
We'll
long?
do
How
that
long
as
can
for as long
you?
as yes, for as long as they want. For as long as they want, we would
Okay.
give them that opportunity.
Hi, it's Rohini Kapoor from Step by Step Talks. I wanted to let everyone know that at Step by Step Talks, we are launching a new 50-step program that helps children be financially literate. So it's financial literacy for children, starting at a very young age, where they can understand what debt is, what loans are, what credit is, and also basic financial planning and budgeting for children as small as 5 years old. Go through my 50-step program and have fun with your children on every day, actually, even on the weekends. You can sit down and play games with them. If you have any questions, contact me at Step by Step Talks, and I will message you right back and give you some more ideas. I look forward to seeing you all enjoying my new program. Thanks and have a super day. Alim, let's talk about compensation. How competitive are you in the market?
Very competitive. From talking to other MGAs, sorry, I should say AGAs out there, I would say we're extremely competitive, especially for new advisors coming into the business. Um, we believe that if you're coming into the business, one of the beautiful things about this industry is to earn a good income. So not only do you get that work-life balance, but earning a good income is a big part of your enjoyment, right? So at Blueprint, and we've never been in a position where we want to pay our advisors less and have them work their way up. We always like to pay them a little bit more, enjoy the fruits of their labor, right? Grow their business, and then and then scale from that point on. So I'd say from a compensation and overrides perspective, I would say we're extremely competitive.
So, if you're an advisor looking out for an organization and you're fresh and you're green and you want to learn, not only are you going to be able to get training, which is not available everywhere anymore, administration support, which is very, very, very necessary in the beginning of your career because there are lots of forms, lots of acronyms you have to understand, and at the same time build a clientele. So you're getting that support as well from Alim's office. You're also going to be getting support in joint fieldwork, which is a necessity. You cannot do it well without joint fieldwork, which Alim says is offered by his office. So why wouldn't you join this office? This office has got everything an advisor needs to be successful, because that's all I'm hearing from you. Anybody starting with you, cannot fail. They will do well because you've got everything that was offered maybe 30, 40 years ago, which is not being offered by many MGAs right now.
Yeah, another thing that we do as well that hasn't been noted is ongoing professional development, right? Just because you're in the industry doesn't mean that you know everything, right? So if you're an advisor at Blueprint and you want to get a designation of any sort, let's call it a CFP, CLU, whatever have you, Blueprint will cover the cost for that. So
That's amazing.
so yeah.
That's a big thing. Yeah, that's a huge thing because the exams are not cheap anymore either. So you cover the cost of any exams that they're taking?
Correct. We will cover their whole designation. If they pass, we will
Yeah.
cover the cost of their designation.
Well, I know for sure that there's a lot of companies that don't do that anymore, right? So this is another plus for joining Alim's office. Not only do you have all the support, but it also encourages you to continue your education, which is very necessary. So now let's just sort of segue to a broker looking for another organization or another MGA. Can you talk to me about what do you offer a person who's got a book of business and who wants to join you? And I know there's a lot of that happens, having sold my own book of business a few years ago. How do you manage that, and how do you get brokers in, and what is your value proposition there?
Well, I think in today's world, it's it you know it, when we talk about brokers in other areas, I find that the ones that want to leave aren't leaving because of income or product or anything like that. They're leaving because of the environment, and they're leaving because they're just not happy with where they are. Maybe they don't have good leadership or whatever have you. And so for those individuals, finding the right fit is the biggest, I'd say, biggest thing for those advisors. It's finding a home where they have a good environment. They're still doing the same things that they were doing at that other branch that they're at, but they're just different color business card, right? They're just coming. There's a different environment, different team, different leadership, and then compensation usually comes thereafter, because when it comes to compensation, most often than not, we can match what they're currently getting elsewhere. And then obviously we'll have some dialogue around that as to what they're going to be bringing to the team as far as their knowledge and their expertise. But it really is on a case per case basis. Every individual or every broker needs different things, right? When they leave an institution, and they're usually leaving it for a certain reason. But I find that it's more or less the fit, and that's hard, right? Because some advisors are very happy or very comfortable where they are. So when we want to bring them over, it's about, okay, well, what kind of environment am I going to be in? Am I going to be someone that's going to be driven to write sales every week? Am I going to be micromanaged? What does your office do as a community? How are you donating back and giving back to the community? There's a lot of brokers and advisors that want that, right? And we feel that we can offer that at Blueprint.
Okay, perfect. So, if a broker comes in, and, most brokers that have been in the business for 30 years are looking for succession planning. What do you have in place for succession planning? Because that's a struggle now, a big struggle in Canada. A lot of advisors are retiring and they're looking for succession planning, but they don't really want to give up their business because it's the best business to be in.
Yeah, it's a very good question. I think it's a great opportunity. I always get excited about this topic because there's a lot of advisors. I mean, if okay, in the next decade, there's going to be 16,000 advisors that are going to retire in Canada. Okay,
Yeah, wow.
and the average age of a financial advisor in Canada is over the age of 55. Okay, so what an opportunity for a younger advisor coming to the business and taking on a block of business and really making the most of it. And it's such an amazing thing. I talked about this earlier about, previously with you about, what an opportunity. This is the best day and age to be a financial advisor because of the drive in technology. There's so much that's happened in the last little while with technology. COVID obviously pushing the boundaries there, but you can do Teams calls and whatnot. So advisors that are just ready to leave, I'd say, this is a great opportunity because not only there's two reasons. One is that we will actually finance that block of business. So we will actually have the dollars to pay for that block of business at Blueprint at a good multiple. And then we work with those advisors, and we put some sort of a strategy in place so that they can still work a bit, and then still kind of still be with their clients, and then slowly, gradually make their way out. Back at my other company, what would happen is that we would have to push the advisors out. We're like, listen, the clients aren't being serviced because they were so happy with just working 4 months out of the year, and so, and that's what they liked, right? However, with the Blueprint, we're going to say, yeah, no worries, we can do that. Here's the dollar for that block of business, but now we can transition you at your pace and work at your pace, and move the business out of your hands and into either myself or another advisor that's the right fit for that block of business.
So that's perfect. I mean, brokers and planners who've been in the business for a long time, looking for a change or looking for getting into an office that has a process for succession planning. Alim Kassam's office, Blueprint, has got everything set in place for that. So that is a very good transition coming to you, right? And you also said the compensation can be matched. So as advisors looking for a succession plan, they should be in touch with you. Alim, where can somebody get in touch with you?
So you could reach out to us on our website, www.theblueprintgroup.ca. You can reach out to me directly via email, alim.kassam@theblueprintgroup.ca. And that's probably the best way to get a hold of me directly. And yeah, it's shoot me a message at any time, and I'll be sure to get back to you.
So Step by Step Talks really focuses on women being financially independent. It's a real passion for me because over the years that I worked as a planner and as a managing director of my own company and brokerage, I saw a lot of women that were not financially savvy, or they didn't just care to know what was going on. But I am adamant that women should know about their finances and understand what financial planning is all about, because you don't want to come to any surprises where, at any time of your life, especially if they're not good surprises that come by. So what do you do to encourage women to enter your organization as financial
So
planners?
it's a question because I have to say, yeah, so as good question because I have to say, when I was at Sun Life, looking back at all the recruits that I brought to the company over the last number of years, actually at some point I was telling my FCM at the time, I go, wow, I've actually brought more women than men into the industry, and I
Oh,
recruited
did you?
so
Yeah.
many females. Yeah, I did, and it was awesome, and I enjoyed it. And it was great because they're the perfect individuals to be part of this business, right? I mean, because they, and I know what you're coming from as far as what am I doing for, I think, female clients. Is that what you're referring to there?
Yeah, I mean, what are you doing to hire women and get them more encouraged in the business? Because in Canada right now, a lot of women are going to come across a lot of money as their spouses pass on. And once women get all that money, the inheritance and the wealth that's going to be transferred, most women like to deal with women, when it comes to advice on money. And we don't have in Canada right now enough women in the business.
I would agree 100%. I think if we had more women joining the industry, I think we know this world, Canada would be in a better place for sure. And we know who really holds their cards in the relationship, right? The spouse or the wife has all the power in the world when it comes to money. And they're also living longer, as you said, right? Actually, the life expectancy is longer for women, and they're getting a lot of money, whether it's RIFs, RSPs, TFSAs are transferring over to them, along with a life insurance benefit that's being given to them. It's just only a matter of time. And that's the target market. You want to be talking about females. Having female advisors in the business is a huge leg up for you if you're looking for a career, for sure, in the financial service industry.
Yes, when I had my office, I had over 30 women working for me, right? So, and it was, I think, they were the top advisors. They still are. They're still in the business doing very, very well, right? But even they're aging. So, we're looking for young people to join the business so that we could continue on, with, succession planning. And you don't want to really, listen to your aunties or your daughters or your children on investment advice. Go to this person because he did very well for me. No, that's not the way you do it. You need to sit down with an investment planner or a financial planner and look at everything before you make a decision on what you want to do, which I'm sure Blueprint does offer. You have your financial plan, your risk tolerance tools, you've got everything available for an advisor coming in.
I'm going to say we have pretty much every tool that you could possibly think of under the
Yeah,
at Blueprint.
I
So,
believe
like I
that.
said, I'm a
Yeah,
very tools oriented individual.
yeah,
When you give a recommendation, you have to give the why. Like, what is the why behind it, right? And
yeah.
we maybe do that with every client for sure.
That's perfect. What about compliance? It's a very important topic that we don't want to miss, because you want to make sure the branch is compliant. If you're working with somebody, and compliance is number one in the branch. What do you do about compliance? Do you have regular audits? Do you have regular checkups? And who does these?
Yeah, so great question. So coming from the world of Sun Life, I mean, Sun Life is a very compliant company, as you can imagine. It's a very big company, and I did some compliance stuff when I was there as well. I did a lot of reviewing the files and whatnot. At some point, I was doing the trades, which was pretty tedious. It wasn't something that I really enjoyed a whole lot, but it was something that you have to do. Being that person dealing with a lot of the compliance stuff at Sun Life, and getting audits and going over that stuff with all the advisors, and being that, working with a team of other managers and going through that, I realized that compliance is such a very, very important thing. So I've adopted a lot of my regimen of compliancy that I had from Sun Life into Blueprint. So we have a compliance manager, compliance manual that we follow. Heidi Cassidy is the one that kind of overlooks that. And then we have discussions about that every couple months, to see how that's going. When it comes to software and certain regulations of things that we need to have in our computers, we're really regulated with that. Note taking, I mean, that's the biggest thing for me. I know a lot of advisors out there are having a hard time taking notes, but that was the biggest thing I'd say for a lot of advisors. For us, we're very stringent on that stuff. So from a compliance perspective, I'm going to say we mark everything. We mark every point there, and we're pretty good with that.
Perfect. That's really good. So we've been speaking to Alim Kassam from Blueprint in Langley, and if you're an advisor and you're one of our guests listening in, and you're thinking of a new career, or if you're a broker thinking of looking for another organization that can give you the support you're not getting, if you're an advisor looking for succession planning and you cannot find the right person, Alim Kassam is the person to reach out to. At Step by Step Talks, we can also put you forward to Alim if you need to. You can contact me at www.stepbysteptalks.com, and you can message me, and I will get back to you within 48 hours, and get you in touch with Alim if necessary. Step by Step Talks focuses on women being financially independent, and we are also launching a new Instagram podcast, little clips on financial literacy for children. There's 50 steps on what you can do starting to train children at a very young age on understanding financial literacy, which I think is very important, very close to my heart. I would encourage you to go online in the next couple of weeks and see what we have planned for children. Easy basic games for kids that you can play at home to make them understand interest, debit, credit. I think that would be very good, don't you think, Alim?
Very much so.
Yeah, so it's been just so wonderful talking to you, Alim. I've heard wonderful things about your organization. There are certain people who cannot say how professional you are, how good you are with your advisors. You were referred to me, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in your branch in January for your kickoff. And I encourage all my guests to get in touch with Alim if you're looking for a new career. Thank you so much, Alim. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience before we sign off?
No, the pleasure is mine, Rohini. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
Well, my goal is to get you more recruits into your office, because I know you run an awesome organization.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Alim. Thanks.
Thank you.